Hi everybody, we're going to learn all about motion in this next unit, and I'm going to read to you from one of my favorite physics textbooks. It's called The Cartoon Guide to Physics by Larry Godnick and Art Huffman, and it's awesome. It features these two characters. And so she's saying, the first concept we're going to understand is motion. Birds flying, planets whirling, trees falling, all the universe is in motion. This is a straight line course. It's marked off with positive direct distances in the forward direction and negative direct distances in the backward direction. Let's watch my fellow astronaut Ringo as he drives a car on this course. The car is moving with constant speed. That means it's always going the same speed. Then it covers the same distance in each interval of time. So after 1 second, he went 10 meters. After 2 seconds, he went 20 meters. After 4 seconds, 40 meters. And so we know that and so we can say that the distance is how fast he's going, multiplied by how much time it took him to go there. Distance is d, and it's equal to speed, or v, multiplied by time, t. If the speed is 10 meters per second, then each second Ringo travels 10 meters. And in 2 seconds, he goes 20 meters. In 3 seconds, he goes 30 meters. In a minute, he goes 600 meters. So you multiply the number of seconds times the number of meters that he's going every second, and you get the total number of meters that he traveled. After 2 hours, I make a pit stop, he says. Screech! In an ordinary trip, you're always speeding up and slowing down. Your speed is not constant. Then what happens to this equation, t equals vt? Well, if speed is changing, which value of v do you use? It took people a long time to figure out that this was important. The old philosopher said, v changing? That's too confusing. Change must be an illusion. Change is not an illusion. We use observation. You could solve the equation for v to figure out that velocity is distance over time. So distance divided by time. If you divide each 10 meters into seconds, your velocity is how far you go in 1 second. And then you can just figure out, well, how far you went, take away where you started, so you get how far you went in all, divided by the amount of time it took you to go, and you'll get an average speed. And most of the time, especially in middle school, we look at an average speed for the trip. It took the old natural philosophers a long time to figure this out, that objects also have instantaneous speed, the speed at each moment, and that's the number that your speedometer actually says at any given moment. But we're mostly concerned with average speed, where you wound up and where you started, divided by time. Here's your independent work for the day. You're going to get this question on Google Classroom. A car travels 400 kilometers in 4 hours on the way out on a trip. The return trip takes 3.5 hours. So what can you infer? What can you tell about the average speed of the car on those 2 trips? Remember, average speed is how long it takes overall to make the trip. What can you tell about the overall speed of the car on the way out compared to the way back? You'll write your answer in Google Classroom.